over and over again, and they're going to keep making them to their constituents at home, won't be driven to move into the House Judiciary Committee and begin a process? Why would the House leadership stop them from doing what they clearly want to do, which is to impeach?
Well, I think some of them will try to do that. My guess is public opinion will be like 80-20 against impeachment. There'll be 2 years left in Obama's presidency. And still, what is the reason that will resonate with the public, that he changed some regulations for Obamacare? I don't think they have a clear case. I think they're wrong. There's no reason to impeach. And I think anyone who's worried in the Republican Party about 2016, including some members of the Senate who might be running in 2016, Republican members, will say this is not the way to go. This will be the classic case of overreaching, which we saw. I mean, some of these guys may not be the brightest bulbs, but there's a very strong lesson from back in 1996 and 98 about what happens when you try to impeach a president. The public doesn't tend to like it, and there will be payback for the Republicans.
Chris, I adore David, but completely disagree with him. I think
good.
I think that it's going to become a litmus test for Tea Party Republicans heading into 2016 to advocate the impeachment of the president. I think it's catnip to these people on the right, and the notion that Mitch McConnell, should he be in charge after defeating a Tea Party candidate in Kentucky and then a Democrat in Kentucky, Democrat there if he can do it, the notion that he would be able to control Ted Cruz and control other people either in the Senate or the House is a fantasy. They're going to go out there and do it. And I don't think there's any doubt about it, because you can't overstate. If you talk to Tea Party people around the country, if you travel around and talk to them, you can't overstate the paranoia and fear and resentment that they have of the president. And even if they don't have the constitutional reasons to do it, even if David says the read that they're going to lean on is changes in the Affordable Care Act, it's not going to matter to them, and they are going to push it. Where it will get, who knows? But I think it's going to be a strong theme from 2014 to 2016. If the Republicans take the Senate, they're going to take that as a sign to move ahead in the Cruz direction.
That will continue, though, Howard. I think the civil war that we see in the Republican Party, because a lot of people, the Republican, whether it's the Karl Roves, the Haley Barbers, or even, the John McCains, will not want to see this because they know the party will pay a price. I think you're right. There will be a lot of motivation, a lot of impetus for this to happen. But this is a nuclear war, of course, political nuclear war. And I guess I'm a little optimistic that they're not that crazy.
I'll meet you.
Well, let's talk about short of getting. They're not going to get him convicted of anything because there's nothing to convict him of. So let's hear it. Short of that, David, and then Howard. What are the steps they can do to basically atrophy this president? To basically put him in a straitjacket so he's under house arrest politically. They're going to keep him from. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg decides to retire, they're not going to fill that seat, right? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think
he can't get a Supreme Court nominee through as of today, probably.
Or I think any sort of major, judicial nominee. There are a lot of vacancies still on the court at lower levels. That will totally come to a standstill if the Republicans control the Senate. And all other major appointments, if there are any major cabinet positions, EPA, anything else comes up, they will just drag and they'll slow walk it, and he won't be able to really run the government.
Well, the other thing they're going to do, Chris, is carpet bomb him with more investigations. You see a preview of that today where Darrell Issa, who may be on his way out after 2014 as head of the House Oversight Committee, is demanding all these emails and notes about the political office at the White House. I mean, they're going to be spending all their time down at the White House answering requests for documents and subpoenas. That'll be another theme that they're going to pursue, the investigation. Even if they can't move on impeachment, they'll just try to investigate him to a standstill.
Well, the question I started with is all this knowledge that you and I, both you guys and I, can see in the numbers and see in the fact that a guy like Scott Brown will move and make his move in New Hampshire, where he could humiliate himself. But he obviously feels it's a good year. If ever he's going to be in the Senate, this is the year he's going to have to get in. And New Hampshire's going to have to be the state that puts him in. And Cory Gardner out against Mark Udall in Colorado, which is a swing state many times. They must sense the wind is so strong. My sense to both of you, question to both of you now, finally, is do the Democrats feel the wind coming at them the way the Republicans feel it coming with them? Howard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yes. I talked to a senior member of the Congressional Democratic leadership just yesterday, and I said, do you think it's as bad as everybody's saying? And he said, yes. He said, I think we'll hold our hopes of expanding our reach in the House are finished. We'll probably hold on. I mean, we won't lose many more seats in the House. The Republicans will maintain control there, but our hopes of gaining in the House are vanished. In the Senate, he said, is at best 50-50 at this point. That's the thinking within the Democratic leadership. The only good news for the Democrats is it's still only March, and between March and November is a long, long time. But as of right now, I think the Democrats are only slightly under the surface in a state of almost full panic at this point.
Okay, thank you so much, Howard Fineman and David Corn. Coming up, the Malaysian air mystery. Authorities now say data was deleted from